welcome to today's episode of Conversations with Karen and Kat. I'm Karen Scott Green.
And I'm Kat Hardrick.
And we are joined this evening by Curtis Butler III.
AKA Call.
All right.
I know that's right.
All right. So, Curtis is an author and a philanthropist. He has written a book entitled A Warrior Married to His Wife and PTSD.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you for joining us, Curtis.
You ladies are welcome.
Yeah, I'm so excited to hear about your journey. So, and other things that I wanted to let our listeners know is that you are soon to be a recipient of the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award that you'll be receiving on April 20th. Yay!
Congratulations.
Yes.
I'm excited to hear about that. You went from being a homeless veteran to being featured on CNN for paying for your community members' power bills during one holiday season. You've blessed over 350 recipients with free haircuts that were homeless and displaced veterans by renting out 3 different barbershops to do that during the holiday season. And you were recognized by Atlanta's very own T.I. and Tiny. Yes. So, thank you, brother. First off, tell us about this journey from being a homeless veteran to being a philanthropist.
It all started in El Paso, Texas. Good evening again. When I returned home from the war zone, it was difficult getting help because once you get out, they don't really give you a playbook on what's next when you leave the military. So you go from the military sector to the civilian side, and it's like a cat and mouse game. I was homeless twice in the same year in El Paso, Texas, sleeping in my car, sleeping at different homeless shelters, catching the scabies.
Wow.
Yes, and so far I'm clean. I have a good clean bill of health. The doctors. Good. Thanks. And the doctors, they diagnosed me with PTSD.
Okay.
I have serious migraines. I would get like about 285 migraines a year.
Oh my!
I think
that's about every other day.
Yeah, that's in chapter 4 of my book, A Warrior Married to His Wife and PTSD. And I did a chart, a migraine chart. And it was with my ex-wife. She decided to do it. And when we did the migraine chart, I took it down to the VA in Decatur, Georgia, and put it into my records. Now we're gonna fast track.
Before we get into that, can I ask you,
yes,
how long after coming out of the service did you become homeless or unhoused?
Oh, that was this 2-3 months later.
Oh, wow.
It was quick.
Oh, wow. So there was no support immediately coming out. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, what did you say?
I just said that there was no support from that transition. I'm going to wait till he, get into it before I chime in because, I have a lot to say with that space. But go ahead and lay the groundwork.
Yeah.
I tried to get food stamps. They told me I couldn't get food stamps. I made $1 too much.
Oh,
but I'm like, I did 19 years fighting for you guys to go from point A to point Z. And when was the last time you ate out of a trash can or slept in your car? During the different type of weathers and stuff.
Yeah.
And all they told me is, well, we can't do anything for you. So I called one of my high school buddies from Brooklyn. She's was retired Sergeant Allison Anderson. And I came. She told me that one of her soldiers said, "Come to Atlanta, Georgia. They'll help you." So I came to Atlanta, Georgia, and I wrote in a book that the VFW, different organizations, they didn't help me as much, but they might do a better job with you guys. So I didn't want to just put them underneath the bus because they're still doing great work. But they just my situation was so jacked up that I had to go and get probably one of the best attorneys here in Georgia to take my case. Attorney Sullivan, which his information is in the book as well. I wrote information from A to Z to help not only veterans but civilians as well.
Okay.
And once all of that went through, I had to go to court. They took my benefits away because people don't believe when I say it, celebrity status. My cousins is cool in the gang. So when they come to town, I'm the family bodyguard when they come to town because they're my first cousins. You know, I make sure they get from point A to point Z. The doctors, they try to get on my Facebook page and Facebook friend me. And then when I found out when it went to federal court that I had 15 notice of disagreements, those are disagreements against the VA and the regional office. And I had an RCOM. They asked for this information.
Okay, you're gonna have to
acronym.
you got to make this plain for me, brother.
Okay.
Our acronyms, we can't give acronyms without breaking them down on this pod. We want to educate folks. Let us know what that.
Okay, yeah, the RCOM is an award from Congress. So I had a couple of RCOMs for the battles, you know, as a 50 cal gunner or a driver in the war zone. During heated exchange, meaning during fire and explosions and from IEDs, improv explosion devices. So I'm sitting in the courthouse across the street from the Decatur VA, and my attorney is sitting to my left, your right, and the judge is in front of us. And when he told the judge that, I looked at him. He said, calm down, take a deep breath. And the judge said, what's going on? I said, Your Honor, I said, did you hear what he just said? He just said I have 15 notice of disagreements in an RCOM, which is an award from Congress on duties served in the war zone, Iraq. The VA and regional office, they did not even budge. They didn't even budge to open it and see the information that they asked for 78 months. So I'm saying, how come nobody?
Goodness, that's so
got fired? How come no one got fired or went to jail? Because us as veterans, if we lied to the Board of Veteran Appeals or a VA doctor, we go straight to federal penitentiary. But see,
Curtis, so what you're saying is that you had your file was complete with all of your service records and your accommodations for because 78 months is 6.5 years. I did that math real quick. So for 6.5 years, your file was complete and they never looked at it? They
didn't even budge to look at it.
So it
was just sitting on the desk. For
you to have gotten to court, was there a denial or a series of denials that you got to court?
Yes, a whole bunch of denials. So when you get that many denied, and I put in the chapter, denied is not a bad word. It just means that you need more information or you need to get an attorney. So what I did, I went and got an attorney, and the attorney looked at my case and said, "This is the worst case I ever seen, but it's the easiest because everybody's name is on there."
Wow.
So it was a no-win situation, but I still had to go through 78 months of hell. You know, how do you tell your kids you can't take care of them, but they know their dad did the security for the President of the United States, these different generals.
Yeah.
I got all these awards, but can't take care of the kids. Now, when you go to court for child support, the judge is like, do what you got to do. But if you're unemployable, you can't go get a job. So I was unemployable as well.
Now, why were you unemployable?
Unemployable through the sleep apnea, post-traumatic stress disorder, migraines, mood swings. So now I'm already a rat up against the wall. And the judge said, well, you got to get a job. And I'm like, well, I'm unemployable. Well, the records say something totally different. I said, nah, if I put my name on something for looking for a job, I'm being federal penitentiary for at least 10, 20 years, easy.
And why is that?
Because when you're unemployable, that means you can't work. That means the government says that you're not fit to work a 9 to 5.
Okay.
So
unemployed.
Yeah, unemployability.
I just wanted to make sure that our because you and Kat understand all of these terms.
Yeah.
Me as someone who is non-military, I want to make sure that everyone understands.
Yes,
absolutely. The basic definition to add to what Brother Curtis said. What you say your nickname is, Curtis? Curtis Blunt. What you said?
For this interview right here, it's called. my mom gonna have a fit, but you know my dad gonna have a fit. You know.
No, we ain't calling you no name to make your parents mad. No. But unemployability, if you get that rating with the VA, that means that your ability to earn what is known as a traditional job cannot be met due to a service-connected condition. And as a result, if you were to earn dollars, you would have to earn poverty or below based on the state that you're in.
I think it's only 20 grand or 25 here in Georgia.
Well, it's less than that. It's less than 20.
Well,
it depends on your family. So if it's single, it's like less than 13, 14,000, and then the more your family, it goes up. But if it's a single person, it is definitely less than 14,000. But we always welcome. We want our listeners to be educated. Go look up what is the state of Georgia or the state that you reside in, because we have from all over the world. So wherever you live, if you're a veteran and you're unemployable status, it is poverty in the state that you reside in. Wow. So if you have child support, so I'll let you finish that because I don't know how you're gonna be able to take care of your kids.
Oh, I'm good now.
I mean, I know now. But
there were 6.5 years where you had no income coming in. Is that right?
Yeah. The judges, man, they no love for you, none.
So help me understand this.
Just think you deadbeat.
So help me understand this, because I'm a little slow on the uptake right here. So at the start of this, did the service deem you as unemployable at the start of this, and then took 6.5 years?
No, the military.
Compensate you?
The military the military didn't have anything to do with it. It's on the civilian side. The VA and the Board of Veterans Appeals. The military, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force. Yeah, they don't have anything to do with that.
As a lay person, when you say VA, when
Veterans Administration.
Yeah, I know what that means. But when I'm saying military, I'm encompassing military, VA, all of that.
Yeah.
And thank you for that correction, because the VA is the civilian side, is not military. But so it was the VA that initially deemed you unemployable, and then took 6.5 years to compensate you. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, brother, go ahead.
The reason why they did it, they went and they saw me on the news. They saw that once homeless veteran paid it forward. That was me in 2001, I think 2012.
Okay.
And that's when I got with T.I. and Tiny. And the doctors, they went and called Board of Veterans Appeals and the Raiders and said, hey, we see Mr. Butler on TV talking about PTSD. What is his rating? Now, while they doing all this stuff, remember, they got to put their names on stuff that they do. So they took away the PTSD and everything. But I had my own private doctors that said we have all the information, and they still denied it. See, when you with the VA system, once you go to an outside source and they have your records, the VA is not allowed to discredit an outside source.
Okay.
And see, a lot of veterans don't know that, and they get tired. They get tired of getting slapped and kicking the butt, and they be like, you know what? I'm gonna take what they gave me. So I got tired of being tired.
Okay.
And God woke me up at 2:00 in the morning and said, hey, look, I need you to write this book. And I'm looking around the house. I'm like, the devil is alive. I'm going back to sleep. Well, I'm glad he didn't listen to me, because now I have the hottest book out. And we talk about denial is not a bad word. Who can you trust at the VA and regional office? Would the VA rob and steal from veterans and taxpayers? The Vet Center, the first chapter of My Rib, It's just a lot of I call the book oxtails and rice because I love oxtails and rice. So it's a good meal, but when you get to some portions, it's going to be hard to swallow. It's going to make you cry. It's going to make you upset. You're going to be like, wow.
So you titled the book "A Warrior Married to His Wife in PTSD." What does that mean?
No, God gave me that title, so you had to ask him. Now I'm just messing with you. Now he gave me the title, and I said, let me write that down before I forget. Now, warrior married to his wife in PTSD. That means the warrior he's married to the military, he's married to his disability, and he's married to either his wife or husband.
Okay.
So I'm married to three different body parts. Well, three different parts. I'm married to the military, I'm married to my disability, and I'm married to my wife. Well, it's ex-wife now.
Okay. So with that being said, was your wife also married to your PTSD?
Yes. It kind of rubbed off on her. And everybody it's kind of hard to deal with stuff. But I tell people all the time, when you have people with disorders, don't beat them down. If they're not ready to talk about it, don't pressure, because we're already dealing with the pressure already. We don't need added pressure. That's for men and women. We don't need that extra pressure. Sometimes we just need to just go ahead and change the channel.
Okay.
Look at another station.
So how did PTSD manifest itself in your life? Like what did it overturn? What upheaval did it cause or didn't cause? How did it manifest in your life?
It took over my life. I couldn't do anything. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to be around anyone, except for military battle buddies.
Okay.
Which is your military family that been through the same thing you've been through. And I felt more comfortable with my battle buddies or my military, but I call them my family, than I was with some of my civilian family members.
Okay.
Yeah, some of my civilian family members. And when I started writing the book, I was like, wow, I was crying when I actually wrote the book, and I had to go and go for a walk and then come back and started typing again. And all I did was I wrote the book. I didn't actually read the book until March of 2022. No, a March of March of it might have been 2022. I'm not for sure on the time.
Okay.
And when I read the book, I was like, wow. I said, man, this book is good. I said, who wrote this book? Because God didn't say write the book. He didn't say write the book and read it. He just said write the book. So when I went through it, I was like, it is so much information in the book. Wow.
So is this?
One of the questions I want to ask you is, and tell me if you can't talk about it, because I too, Army veteran, PTSD, and everybody knows that's peace. And I understand having your family, because when we go into the military, we love our blood family, but boy, I tell you, when we get into those trenches, the people that we connect with, we ride or die. And when we go out of town and we visit, whether they're with us or not, oh, you going to such and such, my people there, just tell them I sent you, and they would roll out the red carpet and love on you. And it was a huge adjustment for me transitioning from the military back into the civilian sector, and with that piece, and then carrying your PTSD that's not even known, right? And so the civilian world wouldn't get it. One of my veteran buddies was my homegirl to this day. We've been friends for over 30 years, and was the one that helped shuffle me in the lane of recovery. Who helped you, if anyone, go down that pathway to say, look, brother, I see something in you, and I really think you need to go get some help? Was that anyone for you to help you along?
I had to say my best friend, and I talk about my dad in the book.
That was Curtis Butler Jr.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And I called him and I said, hey man, I said I need some help. I told him I caught a flashback, and he just said, hey, go to the VA and get some much needed help. And he helped me out. My mom, my aunt Sam, who I call mom, she helped me out. My brother and sisters, they helped me out. Aunts that helped raise me in Brooklyn, in New York, they helped me out. So I had a good they saved my life, because this book right here, I told this to Palmer Williams. Y'all know Palmer Williams from Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns. They call him Floyd.
Okay.
And I'm teamed up with him now as well. And he said, I told him, I said, hey man, I wrote this book. And I said, this book was my obituary to the world, because nobody cared about us. And it's like, do veterans vote matter? And I said, if it did, we wouldn't have over 1 million homeless and displaced veterans. And me and Palmer did a piece. We did a piece on Instagram. My Instagram, Curtis Butler III, Curtis Butler, and the third is spelled out THIRD. And I think it got like 900 hits.
Is it the third or Curtis Butler III?
Curtis Butler III, CURTIS BUTLER, third, THIRD, and that's my Instagram. And when we did the video, we talked about it at the Black Before You in the Black Wall Street. That place is run by Kim and Anthony, which is my next door neighbors who live right across the street from me.
Okay.
And
tell them we're trying to get him on the podcast. Tell them we're trying to get him on the podcast. Go ahead.
Kimmy, and the other young lady is Kimmy. And man, I mean, it hit home. And then Dr. Rose, she's the one that put me in for the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award.
Wow.
I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So I had to look it up. Like, what is the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award? And when I looked at it, I was like, oh, okay. So my platform just opened up even wider, because I did the red carpet with Tyler Perry's people. And I was like, I said, we get to go to the next level now. So now I'm looking at, going to any daytime or late night talk show host, because we need to have a conversation on why our government continues to keep slapping us and kicking us in the butt. They just passed a bill, or wrote a bill, to give undocumented immigrants housing, I think $6,000 a month, food, and medical. Now, you're a veteran, your disability range go from 0 to 100%. So if you're 0 to 40% disabled as a veteran, not after you raise your right hand, I think we froze. After you raise your right hand, you cannot go to the VA. But if you're 50% to 100%, you go to the VA. So
okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Because something came to my mind. You said that there was a bill that would give undocumented
immigrant
persons in this country $6,000 a month. So we always, what source, where can we find that information? Do you have a bill number? Is that in the House? Is it in the Senate? Is it something that passed?
Is it in this country? I mean, in this states? Is it federal level? Because we always like to cite our sources, because on Conversations with Karen and Kat, we are a reliable source, and we want to make sure we're giving out factual information. And it seems like we have lost Mr. Butler for just a few seconds. We will see if he's able to come out and come back in. Oh, look, we got piece dropped. So,
all right, we are back. The gremlins were, eating away at the cords.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So, Carl, before we go, ooh, I just did that to
Yeah.
Curtis. So the
Curtis,
inside
Curtis,
joke
Curtis.
is that I have a cousin. I had a cousin named Carl Butler, and when I first talked to Curtis, I said, when I saw your name, my brain was saying Carl Butler, and so I just did say Carl Butler. Um, God rest his soul.
It's okay.
So as we were talking, you had made the statement that there was a bill. I believe you said it was a bill that was going to give uh, immigrants in this
Undocumented.
Yeah.
country,
Undocumented
undocumented,
immigrants.
um, $6,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And we were asking because we want our listeners to be able to like look stuff up and research. And so, do you happen to know if this was a bill that was introduced and passed, or was it
I think
something
I
that
think it's
someone was
still
talked about?
I think it's still being talked about, but I know some people they said in Chicago that it's already gone through, and in California, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, well, how can again you slap the veterans and kick them in the butt after we're the ones that allow you to from point A to point Z and to
Okay.
sleep well that night. So again, you have over 1 million homeless and displaced veterans, right?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. They just went in. They getting ready to give Ukraine and Israel some more money, trillions and
Mhm.
trillions of dollars. Now, with all of the homeless and displaced veterans that we have, I'm guesstimating you could give each one of them $10 to $20 million, and that would clear out all the homeless and displaced veterans in the U.S. But for some reason, our government is not thinking about that. See, we need people in Congress, not black, white, other, whatever. We need people in Congress who are about our father's business, because if
Okay.
you're about your father's business, we wouldn't be going through this mess right here that we have right here. And right now, we're the laughing stock because we take care of other people except for your warriors. When do you ever stop taking care of your warriors? That's embarrassing.
And so, go ahead,
You're
Kim.
not gonna get a out of me regarding our country taking care of us veterans, our active duty and veterans. I will say that I urge all of our listeners near and far to do your research in whatever place you reside and
Yes.
check to see what your states and local areas are doing pertaining to resources to veterans, because there are dollars available, but we want to make sure we know the facts about what the policies are, what legislation is on the table that is going to be discussed, has been discussed, and what people can do. So we encourage everybody to go to your
Yeah.
legislative.yourstates.gov. So I know in
Please do.
Georgia, it's like legislative.ga.gov. So
Yeah.
go to whatever state you're in and look at your legislative body. And then you can always go to United States legislative and look at the House and Senate and see what's going on there and find out what those dollars are, because we
Yeah.
don't know what the number is. We don't know if this policy with the $6,000 a month to other individuals exists. But what we do know, so let's stick with what we do know.
Mm-hmm.
Right here in Atlanta, the Atlanta VA here in Atlanta, we did for the nurses union.
Mm-hmm.
And during that show, the episode stated how a Florida VA had a 5-star rating.
Yes.
Whereas the Atlanta VA, at the time that aired, the Atlanta VA had like a 2 or 3-star rating. And yet the executive team received a raise. Now that was factual at the time that aired. So if we have enough money to give the administrators a raise, when the hospital that serves us veterans, I go there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be going there next week, that they can't service us and give the staff the equipment, the resources, and the support they need to serve us. Why are you getting a raise?
Yes.
Let's just start with that. Second, right here in the county in which I live in, I volunteer. Karen came out with me. We rolled up our sleeves. Actually, we was at the Decatur VA. We feed veterans. We volunteer and feed veterans every month. Hundreds of veterans a month. And I don't mind saying that nonprofit is Soldiers Angels. Y'all can check out Soldiers Angels. You need food, so go to Soldiers Angels. They have all types of resources for veterans. We do that once a month. Quarterly, we do baby showers for veterans expecting babies. We have female veterans who cannot even afford to take care of their unborn child. Make that make sense.
Yes.
Then we have residentially displaced, which we had some other nonprofits on this show. Check out, subscribe. You guys can see a lot of the people we have on our show. And that's why we have you, Mr. Butler, Brother Curtis, on the show to talk about more resources and what people can do to get help. The third thing I want to say is I was triggered earlier. I was crying and stuff. I keep my Kleenex and I keep my glasses. Y'all know I keep me some glasses. But I was triggered because I was reminded when you said giving up, like our voices are not heard.
Those very voices matter. Yeah.
Right.
And they did pass immigration. They did pass it. I'm looking at it now. Yeah.
What you gotta cite it all though. Yes. You gotta cite it all. But where you getting it from? What's the name of it? We give facts around here, not hearsay. Put your glasses on.
Yeah, you see, I got them on crooked too. One of them is HR 3194, 118th Congressional 2023 to 2024.
Wait.
Slow down.
HR 31 what?
HR 3194, 118th Congress 2023 to 2024, U.S. Citizens Act. And that's for the bill established a path of citizenship for certain undocumented individuals. The bill also replaces the term alien with non-citizen in the immigration status and addresses other related issues. Specifically, the bill established a new status of lawful protective immigrants.
Okay. And so, hold on. So this bill, it was referred to subcommittee last year. It has not gone any further. It hasn't come out of subcommittee. So
it has passed.
That particular bill has not passed.
Well, it says over here it did. I'm looking at. I'm on Google.
I'm on Congress.gov.
Okay.
So who I rank who? Right. And I'm just playing. But no, I love this conversation.
But on Tracker, it's saying the latest action is after it was introduced, then it went to the subcommittee on the Central Intelligence Agency, and it didn't go any further. So, and I'm right there at Congress.gov, which is where they have to report any sort of legislative activity. And the reason why I'm here versus another site is because Google will pick up from a lot of different sources. And even if that source is not correct, it's still going to be on a Google search page. Gotcha. So when you're getting the information, just check out what the source is. Mm-hmm. And so if you're going to someplace like a Congress.gov or a state's house page, that's going to be the most recent information about the legislative activity. Okay. So, and there are so many sources out there that are giving false information purposely. That to try to confuse folks, because here's what it serves a narrative, right?
Yeah.
For some groups to pit other groups against immigrants. Mm-hmm. So we have to be very careful about where this information coming from, because sometimes folks have an agenda. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not that you have an agenda, but some folks put the information out there will have an agenda, because if they keep you riled up about immigrants, right? Mm-hmm. Then you ain't really looking too much at what they doing and lining their pockets with corporate. I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah.
What you gonna say?
You're right though.
Especially when we're trying to say that group of people are taking from us. And let's keep in mind, there is a group of people that's taken from us, and they ain't far for you to look for.
No, they not.
So the number one takeaway we want everybody to get today is do your research and look for credible resources.
Yes.
Fact check. And I love the conversation. So that's what this is really about. But we do know that there are things that needs to happen in this country and in this state that we're in and all over about how we treat our veterans. Absolutely. So what I want to also jump in and say, you said, and you could tell me a personal that you don't want to talk about it. Mm-hmm. You mentioned about being divorced. Mm-hmm. How was the dynamic? Because I want people to understand the impact this has on our families.
That's why I was asking the question about how did the PTSD impact him?
Yeah. Ooh, and this, if you don't mind, I don't want you to say anything.
I'll talk about it. It's part of the book. You know, it's life. You know, men are in charge of, you know, communication in the house. Now, once the communication breaks off and no one wants to, because in the Bible it says, men, you know, we you know, because it's the man is the household is the man. The man runs certain things. The woman runs certain things. The communication, because if you don't have good communication, the lady's not going to follow you.
Okay.
You're not going to follow a man if he don't know what he's doing. It's like the blind leading the blind. So I take the L. I take the L because the communication it didn't go the correct way.
Okay.
But you know, we left it at, you know, I wish you nothing but the best, and I kept it moving.
So how long were you married?
7 years.
7 years. Was part of that 7 years during that 6.5 years where you were trying to get your disability services started?
Yes.
Okay.
When did you start getting help?
Ooh. You talk during the marriage or after?
Negative. When did you start getting help for your condition of PTSD?
What was your timeline? Like, when did you get out of service? When did you get your rating? You started getting help? Like, what was your timeline?
It started when I wrote the book.
Okay.
This book right here saved my life, to tell you the truth. I thought, you know,
right, so that was what, 2021?
When I said it again?
2021, 2020?
2021. Yes. Yeah. Because all the stuff that I went through, you know, people, you know, called me everything but the child of God. And I just had to sit back in my own little space and have a one-on-one with my higher being and say, hey, look, you know, we're gonna have to do something. And we're gonna have to put the word out because no one is listening to us. I always tell people all the time, only time you see your congressional people on TV is when it's time to vote. I talked to Reverend Senator Warnock. He said we need to get in contact with each other. He has the book. It's been 8 years. Well, I think he's been in office now, 6, 7 years now?
This is I think he ran first, during COVID, during 2020?
Yeah, and like temporary, but this is like his real first.
This is real first time. Yeah. So, you know, I'm looking at, I saw one commercial he did it with a veteran, with a soldier, but you couldn't hear the words. So it's like, well, you know, come on, you know, if you're gonna do something, do it the correct way. You're a reverend, so you're supposed to be doing it in such an order. But when he did that commercial, I was like, nothing happened.
Let me ask you this: have you contacted his local office?
I'm still waiting on the phone call, and now I said, you know what? I'm not even gonna wait anymore. I'm gonna go through the back door.
So most of our Congress folks have days where they come back to their constituents They might even be called constituents days, I'm not sure, where they have like town halls and they come back to their district and they have meetings where they're would have town halls to meet with folks. Have you been able to avail yourself of any of those?
None.
Okay. So that's your assignment, Brother Butler, is to find out when he's going to be next back in district so you can go see him face to face.
Well, I'll be in Baltimore next week. I'll be close enough. I'm probably gonna see someone at the award ceremony. I'm not for sure who it be. It's not gonna be the president or vice president, but it might be somebody from the office.
But what you need to do is
that be fair either, because when you come and he may be on a mission someplace else. So you do need to let them know, because you go up there like, I want to see him, but he ain't never around, and that's not fair, right?
Well, no. I'm not going to the White House. The event is somewhere else. But usually, usually somebody from the state office will come through for that type of ceremony. And I was gonna have a book for them to hand to them.
Got you.
Like I said, I done did the phone call. I done went to the office and nothing. So God told me to go a different route. So I'm going a different route.
So next time you communicate with with the local office, not the DC office, the local office, his congressional district office, ask them when would he be having like his next constituent days where he's meeting with constituents, or if he has town halls set up so that you can go and meet with him. And then also his staff, like you may have to bug him a little bit, but his staff is there. Like this is your senator, this is your state senator. His staff is there to assist you, and you might need to be a little bit persistent. You may email.
Look, Kurt, Brother Butler. I know you celebrity status, but not really. No, like we all got to do the same thing, brother. We taxpayers and voters. We still all. You got to email, you got to write, you got to call, and you got to stay on.
Sometimes it takes more than just
thousands. They represent thousands of people. They're not gonna, and it's not gonna happen. But I do love the fact that you're reaching out to him. And so let's put out a shout out, Reverend Senator Warnock. I'm gonna need you to reach out to Curtis. I'm about to call you Carl.
And if you can't personally have someone on your staff to do that, so the reason why we're here is for a warrior married to his wife in PTSD, which can be found on Amazon.com, Walmart.com, and other online retailers. We are here with Curtis Butler III, talking about some of the things that he went through on his journey from a homeless veteran to becoming a philanthropist. And we thank you for sharing these things with us. And what I want our listeners to know is, who is this book for, and what's the takeaway of why it's for them?
It's for everybody that has a mental disorder.
Okay.
Because everybody they say, well, civilian person has PTSD also, and I said, well, civilian PTSD and military PTSD is two different things.
Okay.
With the military, there's not in the military. There's people trying to kill you every day. You got bombs and IEDs, improvised explosive devices going off. People are trying to kidnap the soldiers. So we're going through that 7 days a week, every month. Here in the States, the doctor said, well, if a young lady get raped in the States, that doesn't make her want to kill someone. And I was like, wow. I'm like, well, one, I feel sorry for that young lady that happened to.
Okay.
But I said, but the time that happened to, that's when her PTSD is going to kick in even more. But I said, we have it every day. We getting shot at every day. Stuff blowing up around us every day in the war zone. We're not with friends and families. We're 10,000 miles away. We in their backyard. There's a lot of stuff that CNN don't show you guys because they
you believe this book is relatable to those who are civilians or that have been in the military that are dealing with some sort of a mental health challenge. Is that correct?
Yes, because see, when the VA let you go ahead out to an outsource to another doctor, that other doctor, guess what, is a civilian doctor. So a civilian person that has PTSD, who do they go see? They go see the same doctor that we go see, the civilian doctor. So it's like, the book is for all mental health, whether you're in the military or not. It's for all family members. There's no curse words in the book. The book can be in schools, universities, colleges. I'm at Payne University now in Augusta, Georgia. Hopefully some other colleges will pick up on it. Some HBCUs or regular colleges or community colleges. And it's a self-help book. It's military history, psychology, sociology.
It's a little bit of everything.
It's a mix. It's a mixture of everything.
I do want to say thank you for stepping up and being a man, a Black man, acknowledging that you needed mental health, because we want to help break down the barriers to stigma that's surrounded by mental health. And so I do want to say thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're
and
welcome.
Thank you for putting out your heart in your book and on your pages, because like you said, it saved your life. And I'm glad that you're still here, because we know sometimes to suicidal ideation and so forth is a real thing. It is a real thing, and it affects so many people. So definitely want to say thank you so very much. I'm glad that you agreed to be on the show. And I'm glad that when God woke you up and told you to write that book and you tried to go back to sleep.
I'm glad I did, because now that this book right now it's been a blessing. This book has got me in contact with a lot of the heavy hitters, a lot of the musical people that y'all listen to, a lot of the celebrity actors and movie stars that you only see on TV or in the movies. And I have telephone numbers. I mean, I'm hanging out with these people. And I'm like, wow, and they all talk about the book. At the end of this month, the 28th, I'm teaming up with Kiki Wyatt and her Pastor Larry Weathers. Let me see what else I got going on. The Black Wall Street, Ruben B's variety show at the New Black Wall Street every Friday. If you have talent, come out there. I'm one of the celebrity judges. They want to acknowledge me the 26th of April. The Pink Lion Jazz Club, which
Black Wall Street,
which is co-owned by Palmer Williams Jr. from the Tyler Perry Show. In November, I'm doing a veterans book signing there, and he's going to be the host. And people are looking at the book to do plays and movies, and I'm just waiting to see what God wants me to move at, and then we just going to take it from there. But I would like to get to see the president, the vice president, and the secretary of the VA. And we need to sit down and have a conversation. Any daytime or late night TV show, holla at your boy. Holla at we need to have a conversation, because it's serious. We taking care of everybody else.
Yeah.
We take care of another war. We taking care well, they wrote a bill for the undocumented immigrants. That's still a slap in the face.
You know what? But I don't want to cut you off, but I do, because before I let you go, because this helps me, I hear it in you. What do you do to take care of your mental wellness? What do you do to say, I gotta take care of me?
I speak. I have good people in my corner. I work out. I walk. I eat right, and I stay away from people that's
negative
nonsense and negativity. I stay away from negative people, because like I tell people all the time, everybody in your boat is now rowing. Some are drilling holes.
Right.
Get rid of people.
I love that. I love that.
Get rid of people who's drilling holes, because your mind is this way. You don't need to be looking back and looking. No, yeah. I gotta keep it moving.
Yeah. I love that. Good. Well, Brother Butler, thank you so much for being here and sharing with us. If anyone wants to contact Curtis Butler the third for speaking or asking questions. You can reach him via IG at Curtis Butler third, and third is spelled out. And you can find his book, A Warrior Married to His Wife in PTSD, on Amazon.com, Walmart.com, and other online retailers. So be sure to reach out to him. And Brother Butler, you're going to send us your flyers for your upcoming events where you're going to be having book signings so that we can put it on our webpage.
You talking about for November?
Yes. You said you had something in November.
Any upcoming events?
Yeah.
Any upcoming events?
Well, I have my press release for the 20th. It'll be out this Saturday, so I can send that to you because Andre he's doing the press release. I had to send some information so they can put together and make it look real pretty. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that. I'm going to put that on my Instagram page.
We'll send that to Conversations with Karen and Kat, and we'll post it as well.
Definitely, and I'm bringing the award back for all of the veterans, past and present, to my church, Mount Olive Baptist Church in Stockbridge, Georgia, with the baddest pastors, Reverend Dr. Terrence and Elaine Gaddis, to Kiki Wyatt, her team, to all my celebrity buddies that enjoy, because it's so many of them that want to work with me and help me take this book to the next level, and God get all the glory.
Right.
All right.
I know that's right. God get all the glory. We'll see you back on our love seat when you come back, and maybe we can do the interview at your house next time. All right.
Hey, look, I almost said my address on live.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. We'll get it. Go ahead, Karen.
That's the good thing about being recorded. We can delete that out.
I'll text it to y'all.
Yeah, okay, do that. And
right.
To our listeners, as always, we want to thank you for joining us on this episode of Conversations with Karen and Kat.
Well, we are impacting the world one conversation at a time.